Hi, I'm Borkaland. Glad to have you here. Welcome back. I just found some skeleton horses on my island. I've no idea how to tame horses, but I just put a saddle on this one, and it seems to work. There's another one here. I don't know where they come from. There were no horses here before. Do mushrooms get converted into skeleton horses when they get struck by lightning? I have no idea how this works. But I have a skeleton horse now. It will probably despawn, but I saw more there, so I guess we have horses now. Hello, horse. I'm gonna call you something I don't. You know where this is leading. Obviously. Maybe I don't need to name them to have them not despawn, but let's not take any chances. That's the wrong one. This is the right one. Of course we're gonna name it Bob. Like every other thing I don't know what to name. We're gonna just name it Bob. Very, very simple. It's here somewhere. Yes, it's the one with the saddle. Hello, Bob. How you doing? Have you seen the other Bob? The one that is scaring the villagers over there? Yes, that's Bob too. Anyway, we're not hunting horses today or collecting or whatever we want to call them. Uh, we're gonna be building a thing. Well, we're gonna be prettifying the squid farm because it's been active, but it's horrifyingly ugly. And I have a few more structures I need to build. I haven't forgotten about the iron farm, but yeah, that's enough about that. No, maybe we will actually do something about it. This thing needs a structure still, but I have just remembered one thing I have forgotten. The oldest structure that isn't there, it's my honey farm. Actually, I haven't emptied this in days. This could be... yeah. I knew that would happen. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna be building structures around things. I'm gonna start with the squid farm because it should be the easiest, I guess. And for that, well, we need to build something, and maybe I will just leave it as a surprise, or you will see soon. I haven't decided yet if it's gonna be a time lapse, or I'm gonna do some babbling about it and then do a time lapse or no time lapse. No idea, but I have been very, very, very busy and creative for this one because this one took a little while. Let's see what happens. I was just digging this hole because we're gonna be building here when I realized, well, okay, let's move back a few minutes or a few thoughts. Uh, I'm gonna be building a blast chamber. Yes, I need concrete, and I'm too lazy to break the concrete myself. So I want a blast chamber, which I designed myself. But why am I digging a hole? I'm gonna have a TNT duper here. I can just build it first, use it a few times, and the hole will make itself. That's what I should be doing. I'm being silly. Of course, that's the right way to do it. So yeah, let's do that. Let's just build that part, which might actually be a terrible idea. But terrible ideas are at least interesting. So let's build that and let's make the hole make itself. Right, okay, let's just see if this moves correctly. Seems to move correctly. I think all the blocks are where they should be except the obvious one. Yeah, okay. Put that one there. And nothing should have happened, correct? And now the hole is making itself, except, yeah, I understand that there is... Yes, I shouldn't have... Ugh, I cannot reach. I need to remove the at least 2 of the honey, maybe even 3, because the TNT right now is exploding about here, which is way too high. Alright. I'm gonna explain in a minute what this whole thing is about. But first we just need to make a hole. Okay, everything seems to be correctly placed. I double, triple, and quadruple checked. Nothing has blown up yet, although I haven't actually tested the whole cycle of the machine. I just tested some of the components and they seem right. Let's talk about what this is supposed to be. So this is a blast chamber. Some of you might know it from, I don't know, other Let's Players, or maybe even you watched a video that Ilmango made, because Ilmango made this kind of contraption popular. This is not his design, by the way. This is a much less efficient design that maybe only has half the efficiency of his design. But it's my design, and I wanted to build my own to see if I can, and well, to be honest, I only partially could. So I stole a few components from him. Like, for example, this zero-tick generator here, which is a little bit hard to see. I really couldn't figure out how to do this properly, because there aren't really any guides out there explaining this in, like, in a way at least that I bear watching or reading. So that part I stole from him, and this bit here, including that piston and this whole mechanism here, I had to steal from Ilmango because I really couldn't figure it out. I made my own design of a thing that does this, so it's this piston, this redstone line here, and the pistons here. I made it, that was one that was 4 blocks big, and it was working. Then I moved it 2 blocks to the left, and it stopped working. So I put it back in the exact same spot, and it was working. Then I moved it 5 blocks over, and it was working again. And then I moved it a few blocks, and it wasn't working. And that's how I learned about the position dependence of block updates or tile entity updates or redstone updates or whatever it's called. Apparently, some redstone things are done in a specific order, so I think some redstone updates are easy to understand because they happen like to negative x, then positive x, then negative y, then positive y, then negative z, and then positive z, or maybe some other order. But there is a certain order. Look it up if you actually really want to know, because don't listen to me. I know nothing about this yet. I actually started reading about this a few days ago. But so some redstone updates happen in that very specific order, and then there are additional redstone updates that are not, well, they are not random. But they are different depending on where you are in the world. So some blocks will just update in such a weird order we have no way of predict. Well, apparently there probably is a way to predict how it's gonna act, but it's nothing you could really do, because then if my machine here started depending on these kinds of redstone mechanics, I would have to make sure that like, every part of the machine has to be in a specific block that actually works, and that couldn't be done. So I had to steal this part from Ilmango's blast chamber, because my design, while it was working, and it was only 4 blocks, and this is huge, this has many components. Mine was only 4 blocks. It only worked in specific places. So what's going to happen here is, here we have a piston. I will be placing concrete powder here, and the water is going to be converting it into concrete, I hope. Maybe I should place the water there. See, I already don't know, because I haven't actually tested this with concrete. But I'm putting blocks here. Let's stop for a second. Right, so this is pushing blocks at a very specific speed that is very important to that it may not be any faster. And it's, by the way, it's zero ticking this piston. This mechanism, my own. Probably someone else invented the same thing, but this one I claim as my own. I didn't look at someone else's design. I made zero ticking myself. I don't understand it yet perfectly, and this might also be directional or positional, and I have no way of knowing that yet. But anyway, so this is pushing blocks into this thing, which as soon as I place a block here, this piston pushes it ahead. Now this is the mechanism I was talking about that I took from Il Mango. And this one pushes the block here, and then every other block is pushed that way, and every other block continues here. Now, when the blocks come here, this mechanism here will be pushing them into here, this hole, and the ones that this piston was pushing are going into this hole. Now here we have a row of pistons. There is a piston missing here. That is exactly by design. And here we also have a row of pistons. And when the blocks come in here in front of these pistons here, and in front of these pistons here, and in front of this observer, so if I place one block here, the pistons pushed it to the side under this row of pistons. Same thing will happen if I push it there. This block ends up under this row of pistons, and then the next block that comes in there gets everything pushed down. So first we fill in the whole row of 5 blocks there. That pushes them into this under the second row of pistons, and then the next 5 blocks come in and they get pushed down. After every 40 blocks get into the chamber, the TNT gets dispensed and falls down and explodes. And this thing here is an updated TNT duper like I was using in the Neverwoods farm, except this also took some work to get the TNT to fall straight through that hole, because it is very important that the TNT doesn't get stuck on the pistons above. I am babbling because I'm deliberately delaying, because I'm really afraid of testing this fully, but I guess we have to. Let's make some cobblestone. Oh, right. Congratulations me. Something got stuck. It is broken already. Alright, attempt number 2. I think I figured out what was wrong. And it was the fact that I added just this concretificator, which was just a block of water, that was supposed to, if you place concrete powder next to water, it turns into concrete. That was fine, but the back wall of that water source was this block, and this block keeps moving all the time. I just didn't think of that, and the water spilled all over the redstone here and ruined it. I quadruple checked again, and I think it should be fine now. Well, attempt number 2. Let's see what happens now. Okay, it's moving, it's moving. Okay. Why was there 2 TNTs? I really don't like that. It's supposed to be 1 TNT at a time. Yay, live redstone debugging on camera! It's always exciting because I'm gonna be cutting out pretty much all of it. Perfect. So it is now working. I have built a machine that converts stone into cobblestone. But you know what else it can do? Oh yeah, it can convert mycelium into dirt. Haha! I tested this in creative, and there is always some losses in TNT blowing up blocks, mostly because you have blocks that are like already falling as entities that get blown up, that get stuck on something and get blown up in the air. But this one is actually surprisingly efficient. I actually did a 10-hour test with the carpet mod doing tick warps, and it was automatic, like a command block was automatically placing blocks for me, and the losses were below 0.5%. I think 0.3% losses, which is pretty amazing. So the idea with this machine, of course, it's not just going to be for converting mycelium into dirt and getting cobblestone and concrete. So the manual input, I will probably move it somewhere else at some point. But my idea is that if I push blocks into this kind of I don't know what to call it. This is a smart piston, a smart zero tick piston. But if I push a block all over this torch, this redstone torch, it will get pushed in that direction. As you can see, we can push blocks here from above and from the side, which means that we can merge two block, I guess, streams, for lack of a better word, which means that we can basically add tons and tons of different modules that are going to be feeding blocks into the blast chamber. I'm gonna build the cobblestone generator because I've been missing cobblestone quite a few times, and it would be nice to just have never have to worry about mining stone with fortune again, because it's just boring. So I will definitely build the cobblestone generator really soon. And I will build my own, hopefully, tree farm that will also be feeding blocks into this. And I don't know, basalt generator. Although basalt generators are better to do in the nether, I guess why not? Maybe. I haven't thought it through, and it's not really that important. But we will have concrete, and today we're gonna use this thing for concrete. And here I am digging a tunnel in the nether, and you know why I'm doing that? Because this is 250 something, 258, 76, and the right height as well. Exactly where the portal to my squid farm should be, except that it's supposed to be at minus and not plus, and I happen to go to plus. Because, yeah, I need proper nether infrastructure. I've been saying that for a while. And especially for the Blaze farm and now the Squid farm as well, I need to be able to access them not through the roof. Well, unless I want to blow a hole in the roof, which I probably will. But yeah, we kind of need to get to that relatively soon, because this is getting silly. I'm getting lost in the nether because I mixed up plus and minus. This has to be fixed eventually. Oh, that looks actually more than promising. That looks wasteful. I really didn't AFK there for a long time. This desperately needs shulker box loaders. Wow. Alright. Well, we have black dye. For a while at least. Great. I just converted 8 stack of each black, grey and light grey concrete, and this is what perfect efficiency looks like. Or is it efficiency? Well, this is what zero losses look like. That's what we can say. This is zero losses. I love this thing. I know I designed it, I should love it, but I love this thing. It's amazing. I also dropped the chest here so I can have bunch of mycelium just to flush the system. Because, well, yeah, it's not a problem, but it's a little bit annoying that there's always some stuff left at the end of the conversion. And you just need to push something else in to, well, to flush the system. But mycelium works fine. When it's stuck in the system, it already gets converted into dirt, so it's a little bit of a waste. But it's fine. It's working great. Okay, this is so bad, it's actually funny. So, yeah, I built in this. I have to leave the water open because there cannot be any solid blocks above where the squid are supposed to spawn. I'm 90% sure. So, I built it in, but you notice that it's all very boring gray color and not much going on. And well, okay, this is awful too, but the really bad part is that I actually put in some effort. I made a grayscale gradient from black to dark gray to light gray. Not very exciting, but I'm a simple man. If I see a farm that farms black dye or ink sacs, but I have it mostly for the black dye, I painted black. Well, then I spent all that effort to get all the different concrete colors and then I just covered it up. I said I'm not good at building. I kind of want to improve. I don't know what else I can do with this place. Actually, like, to be honest, this doesn't really look too awful. It looks kind of industrial, which is a little bit what I was going for. Or not going for, because that would require some foresight, but that's what I was kind of planning. So it's not completely against what I have imagined for this place. It's just that, yeah, well, the black is gone. I wanted to paint it black and I painted it light gray. That's not how the song went. And I probably might need to do something about this wall. Maybe this is where I... Well, maybe this is where I use up all my black dye. That might actually be not a too awful idea. Not the worst idea I had today. Let's see what happens. I guess from a very, very far distance, it's not too awful. This bit here is a little bit high, though. There's still something wonky about that exact bit. I remove that and that. Not too awful. I guess this will do. It's not awfully terrible. It's just it's obvious that it's covering up something, but I guess I shouldn't be hiding the fact that I'm hiding something, or something. Especially since the portals have to be visible anyway, and the glass here. So yeah, okay, it's fine. It's fine. Let's leave the squid farm for a while, since I'm not gonna be spending that much time there anyway. I just needed to clean it up a little bit. But now I did this, and I really like how it turned out. This is the melon and pumpkin farm, and the building around it just turned out almost perfect. I have nothing to complain about. It's very hard to tell, but it is. This is exactly the same building as that one, but just squished by a lot. Of course, the hat is a little different. It's well, it's not exactly the same, but it's. I use the same math to generate it, and I love it. Out of all the things that I have built, and you might think it's terrible, horrible, and ugly, I don't. I absolutely adore the way it turned out. I'm proud of this. This is a great building. So now now that I have done a second one of this style of building, that one is too big to be sensible anyway, and I always knew it would turn out way too big. But this one is amazing. So I'm gonna reuse the exact same style for the one I forgot of all the time, the iron farm. Yes, it's gonna be the same as that one, and definitely also gonna build this in the exact same style because this is amazing, and I think the grass really helps. Like the magenta and the grass just seem to do something magical to each other. And the terraforming I did around it, I like that too. We're still a little bit missing here, but let's look away, and it's not there anymore. See? Everything is absolutely gorgeous here. But I'll probably not have time to finish this, so I'll record this outro now. That's all I'll have time for today. Thanks for watching, and paint your world black. Bye! That wasn't planned, that just happened perfectly.